Well, good evening everyone and welcome to Bramall Lane. Two clubs whose senior teams have not lived up to expectations this season and have both faced relegation in their respective leagues. Today those clubs turn to their youth teams for a redemptive piece of silverware, for a silver lining on what has been a turbulently stormy campaign for both Sheffield United and Birmingham City. Today they're under-21s, the two teams who top the PDL North Division and have been trading blows all season long, will end their saga here and go head-to-head for the PDL National Final crown. Our under-18s are in action tomorrow in their own final against Charlton, but our youthful final fever begins here. We're coming to you live on Blues TV from South Yorkshire as Bramall Lane is the venue for these two to cross blades. Blues on a quest to evoke the spirit of 3 years ago when we won this crown. Our hosts looking to consolidate their fourth PDL North title with a crown of their own, hoping to right the wrong they suffered at the hands of Millwall at this stage last season and in 2021. After 10 gruelling months of football and 31 games apiece, it's the Blues and the Blades who have come out on top as the sun sets over the Steel City. Who's got the mettle to go all the way? Let's have a look at the two teams. Well, Sheffield United finished 13 points above second place Blues to clinch their fourth consecutive PDL North title and finish the season in style with 3 consecutive victories. They top the charts for most goals scored and least goals conceded across both the North and the South divisions of the PDL. Their 83-goal tally helped by their top goal scorer Louis Marsh, who starts up top today in an unchanged 11 from the semi-final win over Swansea. Faxon in goal. It's a back three of Easton, Sasnorkas and Pitan. Tahir and Sachdeb will provide width from wing-back. Blackett and Hampson will survey the midfield, with Tinsdale providing support to top scorer Louis Marsh and Sam Aston, the under-18 who's made the step up to under-21 level this season. Well, Junior Dixon was the hero at the Den this time last week. His brace, including an extra time winner, is what has sent Blues here this evening, taking his tally to 19 for the campaign. He starts in the Blues 11 that sees 3 changes. Brad Mayo is injured, the regular goalkeeper, so in comes Oliver Sayer. Fairney drops to the bench. In comes Josh Williams at the back, and Ben Woodskow comes in for Ramel Donovan, who's busy scoring on his England under-18s debut in a 4-2 win over Northern Ireland yesterday. Woodskow, of course, played both semi-finals last week and set up Junior Dixon for that winner. So it's the Blades against the Blues for PDL crowning glory here in South Yorkshire, the grand old Bramall Lane. Constructed in 1855, the arena stands as a homage to history and tradition, but today it welcomes some of the best the new generation has to offer, paving the way for the future. Well, 2 academies loaded with esteemed alumni: Carl Walker, Phil Jagielka, Harry Maguire, Jude Bellingham, Andy Johnson, all products of these institutions. And of course, a name I missed off that esteemed list from the Blues Academy is the man next to me this evening, Marcus Painter. Well, Paints, as a head coach in the academy yourself, what an occasion these players have for themselves tonight.
Oh, fantastic occasion. I mean, you know, getting to a final is such an achievement. And the players have showed real consistency this season. Obviously, you know, they finished second in their division. Actually, top was Sheffield United. So this is 2 teams from the northern section that are now battling it out for the trophy at the end of it. So I think it's fantastic for every single one of the players to play at such a excellent stadium here at Bramall Lane. You know, it's hopefully it's a sign of things to come for some of these players.
Yeah, and wherever these players go on to do, they say it's your younger days that stick with you forever, and what a chance to prove yourself here.
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, this is where you kind of earn your stripes, if you like, where you're working towards the ultimate goal of breaking into the first team. And, you know, whether that's the Sheffield United players or Birmingham City ones, there'll be eyes on this game. There'll be eyes on it, and there'll be kind of a point to prove from every single individual that they're good enough to make the step up and bridge that gap closer to the first team.
As it's Sheffield United who have had the fair share of possession in the early exchanges. Coming up to 2 minutes on the clock. Lindsay getting stuck in and involved as he has done all season. What a talent he is in the centre of midfield. Called up to the Welsh youth team, of course, this season. Menzi Masri really impressed at the Den in Blues' semi-final win, thanks to a Junior Dixon brace as he took his tally to 19 for the season. Of course, the winner coming in extra time, assisted by a man who's made the step up from the under-18s this season, Ben Woodscoot, who starts this evening. As Blues just in a spot of bother at the back, but tidied themselves up. And Sayer can clear downfield here at Bramall Lane.
I think the players will be under no illusions that when you come into somewhere like Sheffield United, against any Sheffield United age group that is, that they're going to be full of energy, full of intensity, ready to go and press you and on the front foot. They won't be giving you any time whatsoever when you have the ball at your feet. But the players be well aware of that. There'll be a game plan that they stick to, and I like to think from a technical aspect, we've got more than they have. But you still have to earn the right to play the game in the early stages.
Tinsdale robbing possession from Dixon. There was Evan Easton who popped the ball through, a recruit from Celtic's academy, starting at the back alongside Lithuanian youth international Dovydas Sasnauskas for Sheffield United this evening. Rico Brown, his pass just picked up right here. And there's the first signs of Louis Marsh, we mentioned in the intro, 16 goals in all this season, scored in the semi-final in the 4-1 win against Swansea City, and bagged himself 2 hat-tricks in the opening 2 games of the season for Sheffield United. His goals have certainly helped them to their 4th consecutive PDL North title, and he's the one that swings it across that far side.
He's been highlighted as a real threat, Louis Marsh, for Sheffield United, and the back four will have their work cut out tonight, that's for sure. I mean, I think he's scored a large number of Sheffield United's goals this season, so the back four will have to be really on point, making sure they know where he is at every moment.
Olofinjana just about gets the ball out from beneath his feet to pop it back to Sayer, son of Say Olofinjana, of course. And there's Marsh, who spotted the run wide of Sajdev. And Sajdev can play back to Hampton, who bends one into the back of the net. And it's the Blades who make the first cut here in the PDL National Final. Owen Hampson, the captain, scooping one past the helpless Sawyer. And it's the dream start for the hosts. Sheffield United lead by 1-0 in the National Final. All too easy from a Blues point of view.
Yeah, it's a shame. I think that's one of those that, the Sheffield United player will be claiming that he intended to have a strike on target, but to me it looked like it was one that he was trying to whip it just towards the back post area, and you see that happen at times where Ollie Sayer's probably just gambled on it, expecting the cross, and it's just crept over him. I don't think you can put any blame on anyone for that goal you've just seen there, but immediately I look to the captain, Josh Home, and he's kind of rallying the troops. Early goal, nothing to worry about too much. It's about the reaction to that now, and yeah, Josh Home was the first player to be getting round everybody and trying to kind of refocus the group.
As Wakefield Blues looking for an instant response, and Dixon just straying offside. Almost a chance for an instant reply from Blues.
Just started his movement that little bit too early, Junior Dixon. Just 1 or 2 yards offside. We've got a perfect viewpoint up here, and he just strayed that yard too soon. But he's another one that's got potential to get you goals, and you supply him with the service. 9 times out of 10, he'll put the ball in the back of the net.
Well, that's goal number 87 for the league campaign now for Sheffield United. They've been simply prolific in front of goal this season. There's Williams looking to carve something for Blues. Dangerous ball across, swept behind by United. First corner of the game goes Blues' way.
Yeah, that's good play. It starts with Junior Dixon, just his hold-up and link-up play, and plays Josh Williams in down the right-hand side. And, when Josh gets the ball, he's got pace to burn. And once he gets somebody faced up there in that area of the pitch, with his pace, he'll cause all sorts of problems and just tries to fizz the ball across the box. But fair play to Sheffield United, they do defend it well.
And speaking of problems, Josh Home caused Millwall all sorts of issues from set pieces at the Den last week. And it's his corner kick. Wodsku connected with it. Dixon was interested, scooped away by the Blades. Aston challenging, called up from the under-18s this season for Sheffield United, part of a handful of players who have done just that. And it was Blacker, his under-18 teammate, looking for Aston to make the run down the left-hand side. The number 9, though, didn't oblige, and Blues will win the throw-in. But Josh Williams already showing his talent down the right-hand side. Probably one of, if not the most senior player in this squad. Had a handful of senior games this season, or I should say a few seasons ago. Last came against Coventry City. Was on loan at Cheltenham this season, though. Handful of appearances in League One. Yeah,
definitely the most experienced player in this group, and it's important for your experienced players to step up and lead others.
Sajdev marauding down the right-hand side. Neat trickery. It's scooped away by Fogarty, and then Fogarty gets in front of his goalkeeper to make that his. Marsh picks up in the penalty area. Smuggles it back out to Pitan. And this is dangerous from Sheffield United, but a snapshot straight into the midriff of Ollie Sayer.
Just a bit of miscommunication there, just in and around the Blues box. And, I think Tommy Fogarty, I'm not sure whether he heard a shout from Ollie Sayer there, but he just decided to deal with it himself and head the ball out. I think you take no chances as a centre-back there. If the ball's coming to your head, you go and deal with it, which he did.
Brown, who's found himself with a different centre-back partner this evening. Started alongside Fairney last week at the Den. Here's Brown again. Searching for Dixon, he's found him. That's why Dixon's so effective, just holding off players, holding up play, and bringing other Blues players into proceedings.
Yeah, it's really important that, as one of your number 9s there, that they secure the ball, and it allows you to build and get up the pitch and try and ultimately to sustain an attack in the opposition half. And I think that goes so unnoticed most of the time from a lot of people, is that just that hold up play just to bring others into the game.
Home, first time cute ball over the top, looking for Dixon. It's fallen for Wakefield. There's Ellis. Home, the captain, and is stopped in his tracks by a tenacious Louis Marsh. And there's Williams again, marauding down the right-hand side, and he'll get there, Williams, and pulls it back to Wakefield. Just got the ball caught underneath his feet, and the Blades can slash it away.
Again, it comes from Blues' right-hand side, doesn't it? Josh Williams, yet again, just knocks the ball into space and opens up his legs there, and he's got the beating of Sheffield United left-back for pace. You can see that.
Masri just looking to waltz his way into the penalty area, halted in his tracks by the Sheffield United back line. Williams tees it up for Wodsku. Williams was just caught late by Zayn Tahir. Tahir, who did score in the semi-final here against Swansea City to get the Blades to this point. And they've certainly taken the initiative early on, 10 minutes in. And it's the hosts who lead by a goal to nil through Owen Hampson's third goal of the season.
Doesn't surprise me there that Josh Williams has ended up taking a heavy challenge. I mean, probably the best 2 actions have come down Blues' right-hand side through Josh. And, if you're Sheffield United and the way they play, you're definitely not going to give someone time and space like they've done in the early stages to Josh Williams. So they've kind of let him know he's in a game, if you like. Just getting really tight to him and aggressive.
Well, Blues Under-21s, of course, looking for their second national title in the space of 3 years after their 2021 victory here at Bramall Lane. But they've got an uphill struggle to get that. Still plenty of time left on the clock, of course, but an early setback for Steve Spooner's side. And Holmes spotted something round the back here. Dixon's made the burst. Across comes Easton. And Sasnuskas can link up with Tahir and tidy things up at the back for the Blades.
Yeah, just from that free kick, it was Josh Home that looked to be quite clever with it, actually, looking to try and catch Sheffield United off guard with Junior Dixon just playing on the shoulder and looking to receive the ball in behind. But it's well defended, it's well read. I don't think you can blame anyone for trying to play early and catch the opposition off guard.
Well, early blow for Blues, Paints, but what would be your message from the touchline? How can Blues get at this Sheffield United back line? Josh Williams has already carved open a few avenues down this right-hand side. Yeah,
I think it's important just not to panic, keep your composure. It's, an early goal against you is never ideal, I get that, but, you wouldn't be going off game plan at this moment in time. It's too early for that. You just kind of, as I say, refocus, regain your composure and play the way that you've been doing all season. And there's a reason why these players have got to this point, to the final of where they potentially could end up winning the cup. So just don't panic, just regroup, get back on with it.
Well, Blues will take confidence from their away form this season. They're 4th overall across the North and the South divisions. That strike from Hampstead, just the 18th goal they've conceded in 18 games away from their Birmingham home.
I mean, what is worth noting, and if you're looking at players to get your team back into the game, you have to remember that, see, this group are missing Bramall Donovan. Obviously, it's for a great reason. He's been called up to England under-18s, which is fantastic, and that's what you want to do as an academy. You want to be showcasing your top players on the international stage. But at the same time, quite unfortunate that you haven't got him out here, because he does really make this team tick when he gets on the ball.
Yeah, such a talent, Bramall Donovan, and he showed that, as you say, Paints on the national stage yesterday, scoring on his England debut. 4-2 win over Northern Ireland. Wadsku slotting in that number 10 role in place of the mercurial 17-year-old. Wadsku, of course, who played both at the Den and back at St Andrews at Knighthead Park against Bristol City for the under-18s. Set up Junior Dixon for the winner in extra time in southeast London last week. It's the Blades just looking to assert some control and dominance over the ball with a goal to the good here at Bramall Lane. Taking any sort of tempo momentum that Blues can look to build in the game away from them.
Yeah, just looking to slow things down a bit. Sheffield United, you can see they just want to kind of gain a bit of control in the game. You normally find as a player that the first 15 to 20 minutes are real fast and frantic, and feels like things are moving so quickly, but no surprise that, as I say, Sheffield United just trying to assert some control in the game. I know they're 1-0 up, but obviously it's up to us now to try and swing that momentum and get ourselves a goal back for ourselves.
Yeah, Wakefield just caught offside on this near side, the right here at Bramall Lane. And both teams in decent form coming into this as well, of course, topping the PDL North. Blues with just one defeat in their last 9 games after that Millwall semi-final win. Sheffield United looking to make it 4 on the bounce to claim the national final crown, as Tommy Fogarty bravely stoops in and wins a free kick. Dixon. Brilliant control on a Finjana. There's Maswi and Wadsku getting involved as well. Rico Brown. Wakefield drops deep. Wadsku linking up with Dixon, the willing runner down the right channel. And Dixon has Easton to deal with. Offloads to Williams. O'Shea Ellis. Ellis can swing it in. Wakefield made contact. Enzi Maswi will pick up and keep this going for Blues, who continue to be in the hunt for an equaliser. Olafinjana. Wodscoot. Blues happy to reset and recycle. Home, always looking to pull the strings from deep, the Blues captain. Neat and tidy and patient from Blues in the build-up. Williams turning on the turbo. O'Shea Ellis can swing one in, it's over Dixon. It's easily cleared by Pitan.
Still land on it though, don't we there? You know, Olafinjana in a good position, just in case the ball turns over, and so you have Sheffield United head it away, he lands on it. And with that, you're able to sustain the attack. You know, there's been a number of passes now that we've made, and okay, that one's been overhit, but at the same time, when you're moving the ball and circulating it across the field in the final third, or at least in the attacking half, you're working the opposition. And sooner or later, there's going to be a lapse in concentration, or, you know, there's that physical aspect you'd look at, that you're working them, you're going to keep looking for that opening. So I think that was a good spell for Blues there, just manipulating the ball from one side of the pitch to the other.
Olafinjana's pass, just asking too much of Junior Dixon. Of course, the two linked up for Blues opener last week in the capital. Well, this is the 7th game that Sheffield United have played at Bramall Lane. Of course, with regulations of the PDL, teams have to play up to 6 games, or 5 games at their respective homes. This is a sensational touch from Tinsdale to bring it under his spell, and he invites Marsh into play. And Tinsdale finds Sachdev. This is Aston. Aston tried it from the angle. Fogarty got down. Blades corner kick.
You have to say that's great play by Tinsdale there, the Sheffield United left back or left winger, and you know, he's just put the ball into such a dangerous area. And initially I thought we was in a little bit of trouble, because Tommy Fogarty just probably allowed his player to pull off him about 2 yards or so, and in the box you know, it's probably you want to be getting really tight there, but you know, recovered well. Tommy Fogarty just produced a really good block, and now they have to defend the corner.
It's defended at the front post by Williams, hooked back in by the Blades. It will drop for Maswi, and Maswi can play as we're out of danger with Dixon. Dixon slightly isolated, but finds refuge in Ellis. Wodskew goes down, referee Niall Smith uninterested. This is Williams down the left-hand side. Uncharted territory for him so far this afternoon. Sheffield United doing well to repel everything that Blues have been able to throw at them so far, but Blues persistent and patient and crisp and clean.
Well, what you can see now is that Sheffield United, they're not chasing every single ball, they're not chasing every single pass, and it looks to me like they've got certain triggers in which they will go and get after you. So when the ball's going into the middle of the pitch, they're really aggressive there. And when it goes into kind of the full-back areas, it looks like they're going to release on that.
Olafinjana and Josh Williams, big task on their hands, providing the width for Blues down those channels. I'm sure that's an area that Michael Collins and his side have targeted to nullify Blues from. A few times Josh Williams has got down the right-hand side. Pitan. Faxon, 8 clean sheets for him in the league this season. In net for the Blades. And Ben Wodskew in his chase and his hunt, a bit too overzealous.
I think that was a real good moment there to land on that. You know, it was Enzi Maswi that kind of started off the press. He really went and got after the Sheffield United keeper, Faxon. And then Wadsku obviously saw the moment that Maswi was going, then you go and land on the player that's due to receive the ball, and just, you know, couldn't quite find the ball at the end of it, just got tangled up, kind of, and yeah, they just got the free kick from it.
Black has spotted the run of Aston. Out comes Sayer. Clearance right out in the clear. Brilliant defending challenge from Maswi and his retreat. Got all ball. Referee Niall Smith with a nod of approval. The game just having a bit of needle injected into it in the past few phases.
Yeah, it's Maswi's tackle that got an applause from the crowd, didn't it? You know, the travelling fans, or parents, I should say.
Home caught on it. A slip from Marsh presents possession to Olafinjana. As we looking to link up with Wakefield, and Wakefield sensibly done back to Olafinjana. O'Shea Ellis for that defence spinning pass picked up by the Blades. And it looked to be a really decent challenge from Ellis, but the referee's whistle, Niall Smith, has blown up, and he'll face complaints from the Blues players. Quite a belated whistle, if I say so myself.
Yeah, it seemed quite delayed, but you know, it's O'Shea Ellis that, you know, didn't find his pass initially, but you know, I love his reaction just to go and get the ball back immediately. Okay, it's slightly mistimed, but that's what you want to see when you know, they're only human. When you give the ball away, you want to see that immediate reaction to go and get it back for the team. And earlier you saw Maswi do it. You know, he went flying in, won the ball back, put us back in control of the football. And fortunately, O'Shea Ellis there, the referee, thought that his tackle was a bit overzealous.
Hampson's asked a lot of his teammate Tinsdale, who's done enough to keep the ball in play, but all the momentum the Blades could have generated from that dangerous set piece nullified. Faxon picks out Sajdev.
See Faxon just waiting on the ball. He's waiting for one of the Blues players just to go and release from their shape. The moment you do that, it just opens up a pass for him. It's kind of like that cat and mouse game where it's like, go on then. As soon as you go there, I've got my pass. But, you know, if you, from Blues' perspective, you can't allow him just to stay on the ball for minutes. You know, that has to be a moment where you then go and release.
Tinsdale links up with Aston. Sajdev, incisive into Tinsdale. And it'll be frustrating for Steve Spooner and his coaching staff that Blues have conceded from Sheffield United's first real opportunity of the game, and since then the Blades haven't really conjured anything of note and of danger.
No, there hasn't been anything really clear cut. I suppose you could say that at both ends, but you know, and also just going back to Sheffield United's goal, it was, for me, it looked like one of those that just gets whipped in towards an area and just happened to kind of creep into the far end of the net, just over Ollie Sayer. And as I say, you can't really put any blame on the goalkeeper there. It was just one of them where, you know, you're not really expecting him to shoot if that was his intention. Yeah. In my opinion, it wasn't. It was a cross.
Home keeps it going through the midfield with Maswi. Wakefield, neatly done between him and Olafinjana. And Olafinjana! Not too far away. That one was certainly a cross.
Definitely was, and it's funny that we're just speaking about it, you know, talking about the Sheffield United goal. That could have been very similar, and I would have taken it. You know, I wouldn't have been complaining at all, but, you know, it's a good little combination down Blues' left-hand side there. Olafinjana and Kieran Wakefield. Yeah, and it was the cross that just missed the far post.
Yeah, couldn't repeat Owen Hampson's feats on a Finjana. The closest Blues have come to testing Faxon so far this evening. Williams was brave up against Aston. And he earns his reward with the throw-in. So Blaze leading by a 1-0.
Blues press proving to be a success there. You know, it's not always the case that you're going to win the ball off the goalkeeper or inside the 18-yard box, but no, we always say that even when you're making them kick long, you're turning the ball into a 50-50 then, and it's Josh Williams that ended up winning the first contact. So I think, you know, that's something that maybe the players might look at and go, right, we can get after these a little bit. We can start putting them under pressure higher up the pitch.
There's Brown, the academy graduate. Dixon just looking to float in field. Easton got a foot in on the Blues number 9. And Dixon so far is having to do all his own work, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, there hasn't been any chances really created that have tested, you know, the Sheffield United goalkeeper Faxon. Just in the final third, really haven't kind of found it any bits of play that we've kind of undone Sheffield United. I know in the early stages there was those 2 breakaways down the right-hand side with Josh Williams, and one of them he managed to pick somebody out with, the other one he didn't. But apart from that, we haven't really found our rhythm in the final third.
A problem for Sheffield United as their goalkeeper Luke Faxon has gone down with a lot of mystery in the penalty area. Of course, we were just discussing how he hasn't really been called into action so far today, hasn't really been overstretched. So the worry from a Sheffield United point of view is that could be a muscle problem rather than a knock.
Well, the last action I saw him involved in was when we did get a high press and put him under pressure, and he looked a bit uncomfortable with that, to be honest. He looked hurried in possession and ended up kicking it kind of longer. Whether he's overstretched there, or I don't think it was any form of contact by anyone, but you know, he's back on his feet now. Just a chance, though, for all the players just to go and grab a drink, and just a few words by Steve Spooner and the staff, just to drop a few bit of information over to the players, you know, just quickly. I don't think, you know, the performance so far, I don't think there's been much wrong with it. As we've been saying, it's not like Sheffield United have carved open many chances and, you know, caused us too many problems. But on the other hand, I wouldn't say we've kind of posed Sheffield United too many issues either.
It's a neat flick in field by Marsh, and this is Aston. Hampston looking for Marsh in the penalty area, and Blues manage to get the ball away. Rico Brown with that particular bit of defending. A nice link-up play through the midfield by the Blades. It's certainly been a bit of a chess match between the two so far. Chances have been a premium. Sheffield United have been clinical when a half chance was presented their way, and that's why they lead by a 1-0. And this is Tahir. Easton. Blacker back onto Tahir, the left back. Marsh, the danger man, looks to bend one. Home in the way, took all the sting out of it, made it easy for Sayer.
Yeah, just Josh Home there, just getting tight enough just to take the sting out of the original shot.
And Wakefield leaves it for Maswi. Red and white shirts getting back. Woodskew in the penalty area. Splendid save by Faxon. First time the Sheffield United goalkeeper's been called up into action, and he provides a decent response.
Best chance of the game for us, that one. You know, it's okay, it's took a while. It's took 31 minutes for us to see that, but no, it's good work by Maswi. Just finding Woodskew there on inside the 18-yard box, and just sorts his feet out really well, actually, because it seemed to be caught underneath him when he first received it. But, you know, he tests the goalkeeper, ends up with a corner.
Yeah, Menzi Mazwi pioneering through the midfield. Wodscoot spinning in the penalty area. Decent strike, took a deflection on its way through as well. Had the save even more impressive from Faxon, but what can Blues conjure from this resultant corner? Home delivers right on top of the goalkeeper, who spilled it, and the referees awarded a free kick for an infringement on Luke Faxon, who isn't moving the most smoothly after that treatment that he received a few minutes ago, but moving all right enough to produce that decent save.
Yeah, he produced an excellent save there, and it's one of those that probably moves really quick from that distance. Wodscoot wasn't too far out from the goal, and as I say, he did really well to get it out of his feet and test Faxon there.
The best chance of the game for Blues. Ball falls to Ben Wodscoot. This is Sajdev galloping down the right-hand side. Olafinjana for company. Drives towards the byline and drives the ball into the penalty area, straight into the hands of Ollie Sayer at his near post. 1-0 Sheffield United. Home finds Wakefield. Really neat hold-up play to invite Mazwi into proceedings. Mazwi, plenty of red and white shirts around him, retreats to Brown.
It's a good high start position by Sayer there, and you can see he's kind of becoming a part of a back three, if you like, part of the possession.
Given away by Wakefield, but he makes up for his mistake admirably and drives back to dispossess Marsh.
A fantastic recovery by Kieran Wakefield. And I think that's something you don't normally see in centre forwards. You don't always see them tracking back and looking to make up for, their looseness in possession there. But, fair play to him. He's worked really hard and affected it.
And there he is again, linking up play. Wodscoot looks to the referee, but his complaints fall on deaf ears, and Dixon can pick up an offload to Williams. Dixon still up in the penalty area. There's Tahir, who made a flick at it but missed his clearance. Menzi Mazwi showing an interest, and Sajdev slices away. But for the first time in the game, the Blades look a bit shaken, and Blues looking to seize the initiative.
Yeah, I mean, the cross comes in there from Josh Williams, and you look inside the box, there's Kieran Wakefield, there's Junior Dixon, and Wodscoot just hanging towards the edge of the box. But maybe could you look to get one or two of your midfielders joining into that, start flooding more players into the box, just giving Josh Williams more players to try and pick out.
Yeah, Dixon's certainly an isolated figure in the 18-yard box on that passage of play, and to add to his tally of 19 for the season. Junior Dixon did make an appearance on the senior bench, but yet to see senior action in blue since joining from Crystal Palace last campaign. Aston flagged offside before lobbing over Sayer.
It's a good high line there by the Blues back four. Just connecting with their midfield unit, trying to close the distances as much as possible.
Home turns it round for Fogarty. Mazwi sold slightly short by Olafinjana. That's picked up by Blacker, who can ride the midfielder's challenge. And this is Marsh onto the right foot, looks to bend it at that near post. Sayer got down really well to his left-hand side.
He did. He's the danger man, isn't he? The one that's got majority of Sheffield United's goals this season. Finds himself in a good position, but yeah, Ollie Sayer just matches it. Kind of knows where he's going to put it. Didn't really trouble him too much.
Home does well round the corner to find Wakefield, caught late for his troubles by Aston. Just see Junior Dixon again called upon to provide that hold-up play, which he's done so effectively so far in the opening 36 minutes. There's Brown. There's Shea Ellis. Picked up by Tahir for Sheffield United. There's Tinsdale. Marsh. looking to pull things together for United. Wakefield skips past a couple of challenges. Maswi finds Dixon, returns the favour to Maswi. This is Olofinjana, tight to the left-hand touchline. Williams knocks it past his man, caught late by Zayn Tahir. Free kick to Blues. Josh Williams, whenever he receives the ball, causes a real problem down this right-hand side for the Blades.
Yeah, and that's why Tahir's getting so tight to him. He doesn't want to let Josh Williams get the ball under control and start running at him again. And, you know, it's never nice as a fullback. I've been there myself where someone's much quicker than you. I think, you know, there'll be times that you do have to kind of just put them to the floor, and just allows your team to regroup and get their shape again. Now, in the right areas, you do that.
O'Shea Ellis just took his eye off the ball, and that invited Marsh to show an interest. A little bit of afters between the two, but Blues retain possession. Olofinjana. Wakefield running the channel. Dixon looking to link up with his strike partner. Blues will have it on the left-hand side. Good spell of possession for Blues this past 10 minutes or so. Just unable to puncture this Blades back line as of yet. Home. What a ball that is for Williams. Velvet touch from the right back as well. Ellis. Williams looking to stand up to here. Drives to the byline. And skips past the left back. There's Ellis! Goal-saving challenge in the 6-yard box. So that's Norcas it was in front of his goalkeeper, taking matters into his own hands and heading behind. Big chance for Blues. Great opening again by Josh Williams.
Yeah, yet again, it's Josh Williams, isn't it? Such a threat down the right-hand side for Blues, and this time picks out O'Shea Ellis, who strikes it really well, hits it first time. It's that whip shot, but, you know, it's defended well by Sheffield United again. But I think, you know, looking at the half, we've had the two most clear-cut chances, haven't we?
Home swings in the corner kick. Olofinjana was up. Just sends his header wide of the mark. Chance number 3 for Blues. Goes begging.
Yeah, set piece this time. Olofinjana, I think that's one that he'll probably look back on and go, I should be hitting the target with. You know, he's unchallenged actually. Finds himself in a bit of space and just can't direct his header towards the target.
Yeah, rose highest above a sea of red and white shirts in the 6-yard box. Femi Olofinjana just couldn't hit the target and test Faxon with his effort. But Blues certainly causing problems from these set pieces. His Home. Sends one for Dixon to give chase, and Dixon's got the better of his man, Easton. And Dixon looks to tee up Wadscoot. Wadscoot just caught on it by Tinsdale's intervention on the edge of the penalty area. Sheffield United at the moment doing just enough to repel wave after wave of Blues attack, and then Marsh fouled by the advancing Brown.
Just came steaming out of the back line there, Rico Brown. I mean, he's always been that aggressive, solid defender.
Now Brown has a bit of defending to do, conspires with his goalkeeper Sayer, who can sensibly marshal that behind for a goal kick. Brown scoops up for Dixon, who will flick on, give chase. So that's Newcastle back to his goalkeeper Faxon. Under pressure from Wakefield, picks out Pitan. Pitan likewise from Enzi Maswi. But the Polish youth international escapes that tight cul-de-sac and finds Marsh. And red and white shirts are arriving in the middle. Marsh might go it alone. Tight angle for Marsh. And he drags it wide across the face of goal.
Rico Brown did well there just to force him, to kind of like the byline area, if you like, just away from goal, and just makes the angle difficult to try and hit the target there. It's Marsh again who seems to be the one that is the real threat in and around Blues' box if he gets the ball, but no, well marshalled by Rico Brown.
Williams looks for Ellis, turned away by Tinsdale, picked up by Hamsden, and Hamsden can feed Aston. Aston in the penalty area, looks at the long way around. Fogarty, who was having none of it, turns it behind for a corner kick.
Yeah, the two centre-backs getting worked in the last two actions. It's Fogarty now that defends superbly, stays on his feet as well in the box. Just as Sheffield United look to twist and turn there just to get their shot away. I think that's one thing you always kind of praying that your defenders do is don't dive in, don't go to ground. You give the referee an easy decision to make then, but Tommy Fogarty just stands on his feet, keeps his eyes on the ball and prods it out for a corner.
And after absorbing a bit of Blues pressure, Sheffield United looking to rally at the end of the half. There's Marsh looking to purchase a few yards to bend one. It cannons off of Williams. And it's seen behind for a second consecutive corner kick.
Important now that the players carry out their roles and responsibilities from this set piece, so close to half time. Be an absolute disaster if you end up conceding from a set piece at this point. So, it's kind of individually, you're going to make sure you get first contact, or your defender, or the attacker, I should say, doesn't get beyond you.
Aston it was looking to flick on at the front post. Dixon saw that away. Sheffield United still in the hunt at the end of the first half. They lead by a goal to nil thanks to captain Owen Hamsden's strike after 5 minutes, just looping over Sayer. And the PDL national final. Marsh looking to link up on the edge of the penalty area. O'Shea Ellis got a toe in, but it will come back at Blues. A wave of red and white to here. Steers towards the penalty area. Olofinjana in the way, and Blues can get a bit of respite with the throw-in. Two minutes to add on at the end of the first half. A first half where largely both sides were measuring each other up for size. It's Blues who have produced a flurry of chances since Owen Hampson's strike. Woodscoot testing the goalkeeper. Ellis seeing an effort splendidly blocked off the line, and then Olofinjana sending their header wide. And Sheffield United just having a late flurry in this first half. They've got 2 minutes to double their lead if they want to take a 2-goal buffer into the break.
This looks like this is going to be a long throw, by the way. Sheffield United are setting up.
Indeed it is. Step into the penalty area, brought down by Hampson, who just sliced across it and sent it skewing wide at the end of the first half. Alarm bells ringing for Blues at the end of the first half, though.
Yeah, quite an adventurous attempt, that one, from Sampson. He connects with it quite well, actually, and doesn't miss the top corner by too much.
Well, the referee, Niall Smith, just had to think about that. Woodscoot making the point that Blacker was obstructing him from taking the free kick.
Just wasn't retreating quick enough, was he? And Woodscoot was trying to play early, actually, and sometimes you do see the referee pull out the cards for that. The fact he wasn't retreating quick enough.
Yeah, it is key to note that Niall Smith has kept his cards in his pocket up until this point. This PDL national final, Sheffield United leading by a goal to nil. Blues, though, right on the stroke of half-time, end of stoppage time at the end of the first half with a free kick. And they're going to load that box. Rico Brown, Olafinjana up from the back as well. Timmy Fogarty joins them. Home, dinks it into Dixon, and Dixon gets to the byline, pulls it into a dangerous area. Pinball in the penalty area, and the Blades survive, and that'll be the final act of the first half. No one in blue able to gamble on a sensational ball across from Junior Dixon.
Oh, another big chance there, wasn't it? And, you know, quick, clever play by Josh Home to set Dixon off down the side, and he gets the better of his defender. And he slips, but still gets the ball over into such a dangerous area inside the 6-yard box. But most of the Blues players were hanging out towards the back post area, probably a bit deeper just around the penalty spot, and wasn't able to pick somebody out to their feet. But, you know, I said it earlier during the game, Matt, that I think we've actually had the better chances of the game, but still find ourselves 1-0 down with what you could say was one of those crosses come shot. Yeah. So I don't think it's anything to get too frustrated about. I'm sure Steve Spooner in there will be quite optimistic still. You know, with the scoreline at 1-0, you're still in the game, and you know, with the chances we've created there in the first half, you'd like to think there's more to come. So definitely, you know, there's not one that you're beating yourself up about.
Big chance to end the first half for Blues. It was Owen Hampson who's given Sheffield United the advantage at half-time. His early strike after 5 minutes gave them the dream start, looping the ball over Sayer in the Blues net. But since that goal, it's been all Blues asking the question. Ben Woodscoot testing the goalkeeper, O'Shea Ellis, denied only by some splendid defending in the 6-yard box. Olafinjana saw a header powered wide. And then in the dying seconds of the first half, Junior Dixon couldn't find a recipient. No one gambling in the 6-yard box for a pacey ball across the face of goal. Advantage Sheffield United at half-time at Bramall Lane, as we see the vista of the Steel City in the background against the grey sky. Do Blues have the mettle to come back in the PDL National Final? Second half just round the corner. So players back out here at Bramall Lane in South Yorkshire. Sheffield United taking the advantage into the second half here in the Steel City. Have Blues got the mettle for a response? No changes at half-time by either side. The ball is in Blues court to respond if they want a chance at PDL National Final silverware. Sheffield United, as far as they're concerned, they've got one hand on that gilded trophy. Blues turn to respond. Second half, here we go. Blues kicking from right to left as we look at it. Marcus Painter alongside me here at Bramall Lane. Blues enjoyed plenty of possession in that first half and threatened Faxton a bit as the half went on, the Sheffield United goalkeeper. But what can Blues do to really turn the tide in this final?
Well, I actually think we created the better chances at the first half there, and with the chances created, I think it'd be fair to say that you've got to take those chances. Without complicating it too much, just try and, break Sheffield United down a little bit. Keep creating those chances and take them when you've got them. I'd probably say keep giving Josh Williams the ball as much as possible, because he's certainly got the beating of Tahir, the Sheffield United left-back. I mean, a lot of our play came down the right-hand side, and our chances created came from Josh. So, you don't want to keep turning that down if you've been getting the success.
Under-16s head coach Marcus Painter alongside me here at Bramall Lane, the esteemed stadium here in Sheffield. Of course, one half of the Sheffield football culture. And it's Blues who win an early free kick through Ben Woodscoot, who certainly looked like a physical handful in that first half for the Sheffield United back line midway through the Blades half. So no changes at half-time for either side. Blues with Sayer in goal, Williams, Brown, Fogarty and Olafinjana at the back. Home just holding in front of them with Ellis and Maswi giving licence to explore, and then Woodscoot in support of Wakefield and Junior Dixon, bringing the Sheffield United 11 just after this set piece. Minute and a half into the second half, Josh Home delivers, screened away by the Sheffield United back line, then it's picked up on the counter-attack, and Sheffield United looking to exploit the transition with Louis Marsh, who was certainly the architect of everything going forward for the Blades in the first half. Yeah,
he just looked like he was going to set off a counter-attack on us then, wasn't it, Marsh? But again, a great recovery by O'Shea Ellis. It's one of those I was actually thinking, take the player, just stop the attack, don't let him get kind of up to speed in his tracks, Marsh. But O'Shea Ellis stood on his feet and just stopped the attack, just put the ball out for a throw-in. I think that's something to bear in mind too, is that when you're looking at the makeup of the under-21s here, there's a number of under-18s that are featuring. You've got O'Shea Ellis, Menzi Maswi and Ben Woodscoot there.
Oh, Ben Woodscoot lunged in at a ball that was escaping him. His complaints to referee Noel Smith is that he got a big toe on the ball, which is what it looked like from here. It might be the follow-through that the referee's got a problem with. And it's Ben Woodscoot, one of those being called up from the under-18s throughout the season that you were mentioning, Paints, that's picked up the first booking of the game. Yeah,
it was a committed challenge. I don't think there's any malice in it. As you say, might have been a case of the referee thought the follow-through was the problem with that. But, the ball was there to be won. It's not like he went in with 2 feet. Not nice to see the Sheffield United player receiving treatment, obviously, but as I say, there was no malice in the tackle.
It's Evan Easton, the man who's down, the Sheffield United centre-back, and he makes up part of the back three from a Blades persuasion. So Faction is the goalkeeper, Easton, Sasnorskas and Pitan, that back three, with Tahir and Sajdev, the wing-backs, Blacker and Hampson, the goal scorer whose goal separates the two sides so far, and then Tinsdale in support of Aston, and top goal scorer Louis Marsh looking to add to his tally of 16 goals this season. And thankfully for Sheffield United, Easton is back to his feet, and with a bit of a limp, making his way to the touchline. So Ben Woodscoot in the book. Easton will continue to receive treatment, and Sheffield United have a free kick just inside the centre circle. 1-0 the Blades lead.
One I forgot to add to the 18s group was Ollie Sayer as well, the goalkeeper, who, it's a great experience for these under-18s, and next year they'll be fully called upon. as officially under-21s. So, but what a great experience for them, and obviously looking towards tomorrow as well. The under-18s have got their final against Charlton, so you know it's great that you're seeing under-18s players getting exposure in the under-21s, and you know such a big day for the players tomorrow as well. So I'm not saying these players will be featuring in that, because that'd be a big ask, wouldn't it, from a physical point of view, but just shows the good work that's going on at the club. 18s, 21s, both in a final.
Absolutely. Yeah, certainly a sight for the future here at Birmingham City, as Sheffield United look to add a second. Down they go in the penalty area. Niall Smith swift to rave away any appeals inside the 18-yard box. Owen Hampson it was, the man whose goal separates the two sides, who went down looking for it.
It was the right call by the referee. I mean, you've always got a decision to make when someone goes down in the box, but no, not for me. Not enough contact. No real challenge there.
Sachdev striving forward, lost his footing, regained it, waltzed in field onto the weaker left side and sent his effort high into the cop here at Bramall Lane. But danger signs for Blues at the start of this second half. He spoke about players maybe playing today and tomorrow. That's certainly what Ben Wodsku did last week. Got in a car straight from the capital against Millwall after playing that period of extra time, and even fixtured on the under-18s team sheet to start against Bristol City back at St Andrews at Knighthead Park. But as you say, big demand if he's asked to do that again tomorrow. Of course, being held at the Birmingham County FA's HQ as Blues take on Charlton Athletic, as Paints rightly pointed out, in the under-18s PDL National Final tomorrow. And we'll be there to bring you all of it here on Blues TV. But at the moment, the age group above under-21s have a job to do. They're a goal down here at Bramall Lane in South Yorkshire, looking for a response. Brown seeking Ellis down the right-hand side. Tinsdale for company. And O'Shea Ellis, just unfortunate the last ricochet came off him and cannoned out of play for a Sheffield United throw.
He actually looked like he was trying to retain the ball there, O'Shea Ellis, just to turn out, start again, but as you say, Matt, it's the ricochet that just ended up coming off him. So those unfortunate ones you can't really do much about.
Williams inside, Wodsku involved again, proving a handful for the Sheffield United midfield. Such physicality, Ben Wodsku, that's what he offers you in that number 10 role. Williams prods inside to Wakefield, receives the give and go from the striker. It's Williams surging through, looks to prod Dixon through on the right-hand side of the penalty area, goes down in a more hopeful manner than anything else. The referee waves away any appeals, and it'll be a goal kick to Sheffield United. But Josh Williams again trying to pioneer everything going forward. Yeah,
he's just coming inside this time and links up really well with Kieran Wakefield, that, you know, shows a clever back heel, if you like. Just then the final ball just not quite lands where Josh wants it to land, but you know, promising that he's still looking to get forwards, because it's a real strength of his. You know, he's got that real athleticism that allows him to do that.
Yeah, of course, Williams, as mentioned, did display that athleticism in the first team, given his chance last season under John Eustace. As Pitan looks to slot through Aston. Fogarty was aware and came across to execute the clearance. Marsh eludes home. Fogarty's intervention. And Sachdev just leaving someone Olafinjana. No love lost between those two, who've had a right old ding-dong so far this evening. So Sachdev and Femi Olafinjana.
Yeah, he's a strong boy, Olafinjana. I know the type of player he is. He wouldn't shy away from that.
He's been working overtime in the past few passages of play. Slices this one out of play. Was a handful of appearances for Norway under 18s and 19s, making the most of his connections to the Nordic state. That's the other side. Josh Williams has some defending to do now, helped out by Rico Brown, who stepped out as centre-back to meet Tinsdale. Down goes the number 11, free kick Sheffield United.
Yeah, Tinsdale just proving to be a bit of a tricky customer there, just looking to twist and turn, just to try and lose Rico Brown. But as we've seen most of the game, Rico Brown loves to get tight and aggressive with anyone he's playing up against.
Tinsdale leaves it for Hampson, floats towards the back stick. There was Pitan waiting, but just infringed his man. Free kick goes Blues' way.
Tommy Fogarty just gets his body in front of Pitan there, and as a result, Pitan ends up just giving him a shove in the back. Relying on the officials there to give you that, because it's a dangerous ball in, actually. Floated towards the back post area.
Sajdev from the throw-in, met by the head of Fogarty. Woodscoop holds off Blacker to find Williams. And Williams searches for Dixon, who hasn't been able to impose himself so far in this second period, of which we've had 10 minutes. Nice battling in the midfield from both teams. Maswi comes out with the ball. Home sought out Wakefield. That was repelled by Easton, who's recovered from that heavy challenge he received from Woodscoop. Wakefield again.
Just see Wakefield there coming off the top line. Him, Junior Dixon and Woodscoop just looking to rotate and find spaces and gaps. Just to look to disjoint the Sheffield United back line. Just pull them out of shape.
Olafinjana smartly lets the ball roll across his body and profits with a corner kick off of Sajdev. Blues first of the second period. Josh Home caused some trouble from these set-piece positions in the first half, the Blues captain. Can they benefit from their first of the second half?
Yeah, he's got good delivery, Josh Home, and we saw that in the first half. From a technical point of view, he can really handle the ball, and big part of his game that.
Referee Niall Smith just having a word with one or two in that packed 6-yard box. This a corner tactic we saw employed by Blues at Millwall from their large catalogue of set-piece plays.
You can see there's 3 players in and around Sheffield United goalkeeper in the 6-yard box.
Holmes sent it long. Woodscoop was round the back. Faxon's appealing. So Sheffield United player's gone down in the penalty area and he gets a decision. It was Faxon who was appealing in the initial play, and that fell on deaf ears from Niall Smith. Blues played on and it was Woodscoop showing an interest, but eventually Sheffield United get the decision.
I think that's why, the staff have probably had a look at the way Sheffield United play and Faxon possibly, and that's why we've kind of put so many players in and around him there, just to stop him coming out and claiming those aerial balls. I actually feel like goalkeepers are a little bit too protected these days, just where Faxon was kind of gesturing towards the referee that he was infringed, but I think if anything it's just that there's so many bodies in and around him, and that's why teams do that. They smother the 6-yard box to make it difficult for the goalkeepers. You haven't actually got to make contact, it's just positioning yourself in there that causes the problem.
I was going to ask you, Paints, how long you think it's going to be until Steve Spooner and his coaches make some sort of a change, but we just had an indication that the trialist has taken his bib off and is getting stripped and ready to go. Made an impact when he came on at the Den against Millwall for Bramall Donovan at half-time. Obviously, Bramall Donovan not involved here because he's too busy scoring on his debut against Northern Ireland yesterday for the England under-18s in a 4-2 victory. And obviously withdrawn at half-time last week because of that recent operation he had on his wrist, Bramall Donovan. But the trialist for Blues looks like he's going to be the first one introduced for Birmingham. I mean, it looks like it's going to be for Ben Wodscoot.
Yeah, maybe that's understandable. I mean, it's, you know, being an under-18, he's had success in the game, you know, finding clever bits of space at times and link the game quite well. And it's, I think maybe it's the physical demands on those type of players, you know, whether you just want to inject something different into the game, whether that's a little bit of pace that maybe Wodscoot hasn't got so much of in that area of the pitch. Obviously, he's got different qualities. I'm not taking nothing away from him. But, you know, it's a big ask for an under-18 to probably last a whole 90 minutes. And when you're chasing the game, I think Steve Spooner will be just looking at different options just to try and mix it up a bit.
Yeah, especially after playing a whole load of football last weekend, Ben Wodscoot. Involved for both the 21s and the 18s, both of which went to extra time. The 18s, of course, went all the way to penalties. Tyrese Warmington, the hero on that day. 3 spot kick saves to send the under-18s through to their respective PDL national final. That takes place tomorrow. 1 p.m. kickoff, and we'll be there at the Birmingham County FA headquarters to bring you all the action. It looks like the trialist is just getting ready to go. And Sheffield United look like they're going to make a change as well. Jack Waldron, called from the bench, sporting a number 12 shirt, will be introduced for the Blades, who lead by 1-0. There's Evan Easton, who's certainly been in the wars for Sheffield United, received a big blow from Ben Wodscoot, a heavy challenge, and goes down in the penalty area from that recent altercation. He's the one being withdrawn for Jack Waldron, who will take up the mantle down the right-hand side as Sheffield United, correct me if I'm wrong, look like they're going to stay in that back three. With the left wing back to here, maybe just dropping in to left centre back. Blues will just wait a few more minutes before making their change. And from the restart, Sheffield United looking to double down. Tommy Fogarty comes across. Well, just under half an hour to go. Blues readying their first change of the game. What do you expect the trialists to come on and inject into Blues to turn the tide? You know, we've talked about Blues dominating most of the stats, but the most important stat of all remains 1-0 to the Blades.
Well, I think, you know, injecting that little bit of pace and energy to the final third would be good, wouldn't it? You know, it's I think it's just the second half has been a little bit flat. You know, we haven't really created anything as of yet. So that's Steve Spooner's idea, I imagine, just to try and liven things up in that area of the pitch. You know, with us chasing the game, longer it goes on, you do need to try and go for it and take more of a risk.
Jack Waldron's first involvement is to be cleared out by Femi Olafinjana. Welcome to the game. I think Steve Spooner just letting this Sheffield United attack play out before he makes his first throw of the dice.
I know you mentioned it earlier, Matt. You know, the trialist coming on last week for Bramall Donovan. He did make an impact in the game, and he'll be hoping for the same today. you know, with us trailing.
Wodskew, whose substitution seems imminent, making the burst down the right-hand channel. Sheffield United players want a handball call. They won't get one. Wodskew fashions a ball in field towards Wakefield. That's picked up by the Blades, and they've worked this neatly down the left channel. Marsh combining with Tinsdale, but it's picked up by Williams. And then Browner spot a bother with red and white shirts congregating around him. Home picks up the pieces. Wakefield battling, wrestling, and fashions a ball to Williams. And Wakefield on the underlapping run, just overcooked towards the Blue striker. And the chance goes begging.
Just overhit it ever so slightly. Josh Williams there, and give Kieran Wakefield just a bit too much to do. You know, he was at full sprint pace there, wasn't he, Wakefield? And you know, he slid to try and keep the ball in play, but just wasn't able to do so. You can see now it's Wodskew that has, you know, really gave everything there for 65 minutes. You know, as I say, I think he's linked the play well at times, you know, playing as that number 10 role. But it's the moment now Steve Spooner's chose to make a change, bring the trialist on and try and inject some extra energy and zip to our play. Straight away he goes on the press, doesn't he? Nearly nicks the ball, actually.
Yeah, already breathing down the neck of Faxton. But Sheffield United have played their way out of that tight corner, but can't fashion their way out of that packed midfield, and Williams has it down the right. Smuggles a ball into the trialist. His first involvement is to link up with Josh Williams. Looks like a nasty collision between the two, both in some discomfort on the ground. Tinsdale it was, backtracking with Josh Williams.
I think that was more tangle than anything. But certainly Josh Williams looks in some pain there. You know, they both went down grabbing their leg, and Josh Williams hasn't got up on his feet. Tinsdale has.
So another break in play, both sides going tooth and nail in this PDL National Final for PDL glory. Of course, the North Division conquering all. These are the top two that have finished in the PDL North. But who will come out at the very top of the tree and get their hands on that PDL silver? At the moment, with 23 minutes to go, it's Sheffield United a goal to the good. And Tinsdale, I think, went in the book for that challenge. And Josh Williams still down, receiving treatment. Worrying signs for Blues. He's been one of the most instrumental players going forward down that right-hand side. One of the more experienced players in the squad as well. Laith Fairney is a defender who can come on. Kamara, if you want more of an attacking sense. Off the bench as well. Steve Spooner, I'm sure.
Yeah, fingers crossed he can get back up on his feet. And I think we saw in the first half a number of times cause problems down the right-hand side with his pace, picking people out inside the 18-yard box for opportunities. You know, when you're really going for the game, you know, where you really need to get yourself a goal and get yourself back into it, they're the type of players that you need to stay.
Well, there's no movement on the Blues bench as of yet, so they're hoping, as are we, that Josh Williams can continue. And thankfully he's got back to his feet, okay, albeit a little gingerly. Blues down to 10 for this set piece. Tinsdale didn't have to receive treatment, so Sheffield United defending with the full complement of 11. Holmes swings an inviting ball in. It's claimed by Faxon in his 6-yard box.
Oh, interesting by Faxon there, because as soon as he caught the ball, obviously with Josh Williams off the field at the time, it was O'Shea Ellis left 1v1 in the back line. And you kind of think to yourself, go on then, are you going to hit it? Because you're going to set off a real attack there for your team, but chose not to, just chose to slow things down and set his team up in which to build.
No nonsense from Tommy Fogarty. He had the drop over the top towards Aston. And cleared his lines out for a throw-in. Here's Marsh. Hasn't been as involved as we saw him in the first half. The Sheffield United top goal scorer. There's this man, Junior Dixon, who on that most recent break did receive some instruction from the coaching staff, maybe as to how he can implement himself more and get himself more involved as the real spearhead of that Blues attack, as he has proved on so many occasions this season. Here's Waldron, the second half substitute for Sheffield United. Hampson, the man whose goal continues to separate the two sides. That came after 5 minutes. Marsh passes the ball across, blocked at source by Josh Holmes. Sheffield United corner in front of the Kop.
I think his second half really hasn't presented either team with many chances, has it? I think it's been probably quite patient from Sheffield United. Then they know they're winning the game 1-0. Probably don't need to throw everything at it, do they? But it's just the way the half's panned out. It's just been very limited for those clear-cut chances, and both goalkeepers really haven't had much to do.
So Sheffield United with the corner kick right into the 6-yard box. It was Josh Williams who got the telling touch at the front post. Ellis isolated out there on that far side, stopped in his tracks by Batan. And Sheffield United look to spring into action from that dispossession. Tinsdale, Waldron's all alone on that far side. Aston to aim for in the middle. Drops it into Marsh to work his magic. Looks to bend one. That's blocked by O'Shea Ellis. And now Blues can look to counter-attack. Williams turns on the pace. Cynical bring down by Blackett. And Blackett will be the most recent recipient of the yellow card.
Yeah, you can't have any complaints about receiving a yellow card for that challenge. No, you see it all the time. One of the quickest players on the pitch, Josh Williams, about to break with the ball. That's one where you got to take one for the team, take the yellow card. Just allows your team to regroup, get behind the ball. Stops any attack from the opposition, or in our case, Josh Williams.
So 20 minutes to go, 20 minutes for Blues to get themselves back into this PDL national final, if they want to lift that trophy at the end of the night in South Yorkshire. Extra time and penalties if we need them, remember. Menzi Maswi. Again, the second half, Blues dominating possession, but Sheffield United in their robust shape, being able to repel and close down every possible avenue of exploration. And as you pointed out, Paints, chances really have been a premium in this second period. Blues continue to knock on the door, though. Here's the try list. Wakefield can't get the better of Pitan, the Polish youth international. Velvet touch by Aston, but shrugged off by Fogarty.
It's important we try and inject a tempo to this half now. Whether that's trying to play quickly and getting the ball back in play. The time's ticking, and again we found ourselves with another throw-in, but can we just try and get the ball back in play as quickly as possible and start shifting it around the pitch like we did do in the first half, where we were testing the Sheffield United goalkeeper more than we're doing now.
Aston. Maswi tidies things up. There's Brown seeking out Williams, just a yard or two behind Josh Williams, who had to adjust his feet. Couldn't read the flight of the pass. Josh Williams just signalling to his centre-back that he wanted the ball played into the space in front of him.
Yeah, frustrating on that, because you've got an opportunity to get Josh Williams 1v1 and just not able to execute the pass. Just goes off the pitch and kind of allows Sheffield United just to slow the game down again, and just the detail on it, that taking care of every pass that you make, making sure it lands.
Wakefield just looked like he was going to steal in, but instead Sheffield United looking to go down the other end with Aston. Big save by Sayer. Big moment in the game, and the Blues goalkeeper comes up with a big stop, made his frame nice and big to deny Sam Aston a second.
Yeah, terrific by Ali Sayer. You know, hasn't been called upon much in the second half, but there he's just stood his ground. As you say, made himself really big. Just got a, you know, really important touch on it. I think it hit his leg actually, and ends up going away from goal with that touch. But no, really important moment.
Marsh gets the better ball of Finjana to keep the ball in play. Sheffield United still in the hunt for a second. Waldron whips it in. Aston's up, and they have a second. Aston not to be denied this time. Called up from the under-18s this season. And he might have just put one hand on the PDL National Trophy for Sheffield United. They lead by 2-0.
Yeah, a disappointing goal to concede. You know, just a few moments before that, Ali Sayers, you know, produced an excellent save, and then, no, not long after that, the ball in a wide area gets whipped in. I mean, it's a good delivery, but the fact he's found himself in between Rico Brown, centre-back, and Josh Williams, right back there. He's just crept in between the both. And they're the ones, when the ball's in wide areas, you're asking defenders just to mark in the box. It's the player that will score the goal, not the space. Just slight lapse there, and as I say, gets in between the both of them, just nods it in for Sheffield United's second goal.
Waldron with delivery, Aston with the execution. Rose highest in the penalty area. Sayer did all he could, got a hand to it, but could only help it into the back of the Kop net. And Sheffield United have a 2-goal buffer heading into the final quarter of an hour of the PDL National Final. And in a second half in which chances have been a premium, Sheffield United have been clinical. Round the corner it goes. Aston looks to tee up Tinsdale. Out steps Rico Brown. Does well to find Williams. Williams steps in field.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there, though, Matt. It's, you know, the chances Sheffield United have created, they've taken them. OK, the first one a bit of luck probably involved there, but, you know, the second one, not many chances created in the second half alone, and they've taken their chance. Just as I'm speaking there, another dangerous cross into the box, wasn't it? No, that it's Sheffield United's right-hand side now that they seem to be having some joy down.
Yeah, it's the substitute again, Jack Waldron. Another one called up from the under-18s this season, now causing Blues all sorts of issues. Put the ball on the head of Aston for the second, and then whipped it across with Sachdev showing an interest round the back. Williams did just enough to turn it behind. But Blues now riding this Blade storm. 13 minutes to go. Blues need a response.
Yeah, it's Sheffield United's second goal. Really seems to have dented the players a little bit in terms of their confidence by the look of it. It's, you know, it seems to be all Sheffield United these last few minutes.
Yeah, Tinsdale standing up this time. Waldron will scamper to collect. Pitan desperate to stay on side, and finally Waldron provides him with the ammunition. Pitan's low ball across, screened away by Olafinjana, and now Wakefield on the counter-attack. He's got Dixon outside of him. Rides one challenge. It's Junior Dixon in for Blues. It's a fantastic save from Luke Faxon, and he receives the plaudits from his teammates, because if that goes in, it sets up a dramatic last 10 minutes. Oh,
really important save by Faxon there. Yeah, I mean, that's the moment you're desperate for Junior Dixon to slot the ball home. And it comes from a great counter-attack. You know, Kieran Wakefield driving with the ball, and he's got Junior Dixon to the left of him. I think one of the Sheffield United players actually tried to take out Wakefield, which, again, you're probably used to seeing in that position. But yeah, he offloads it to Junior Dixon, tries to kind of place it into the side of the net, but it gets an excellent touch by Faxon.
Yeah, we were just mentioning that Blues haven't had that clear-cut opportunity this second half. That was it.
Yeah, the golden chance, probably the only chance we've created in the second half of any note.
Home from the resultant corner kick. Swept away by Sheffield United. Junior Dixon unable to add to his impressive tally this season, denied by Luke Faxon. Wakefield, the architect, he's been replaced by Ben Beresford. And Sai Kamara has come on for Olafinjana as well. So 2 more rolls of the dice for Steve Spooner, for his side, who trail by 2-0. Big chance for Junior Dixon. Big stop by Luke Faxon.
Had to really liven things up, wouldn't it, for the final 10 minutes. Junior Dixon's chance went in there, but still Blues find themselves 2-0 down, just still looking to try and get another opportunity on goal. You know, I think what you'll find now is Sheffield United will throw everybody behind the ball and kind of pose Blues the question of, go on then, break us down. We're willing to defend for our lives for the last 10 minutes of the game.
Said Kamara, it should be said, only recently returning from an injury that's kept him out since around Christmas. Missed the semi-final against Millwall. This is first action since early 2024, taking up the mantle down the left-hand side. And Sachdev looks to get him round the back of Rico Brown. Across comes Fogarty, Beresford's first involvement. He spent part of the season in the National League North with Gloucester City, getting some invaluable experience, joining the Blues ranks straight from grassroots football. One of the handful of players who have gone down that route, picked up from their Sunday League teams. And now Beresford looking to put his name in lights at Bramall Lane and spearhead the Blues comeback in the PDL National Final.
That's the thing now. I just see Josh Williams just look to get the ball out of his feet, deliver it into the box. When you've added a player like, you know, Beresford onto the pitch, sorry, you know, he's got such a physical presence and height about him that he can become a real threat there if you're delivering the right kind of ball and service into the box.
Dixon snapshot, repelled. Kamara. Corner kick Blues. And as we keep saying, Paints, a goal now will stand up. Well, a mouth-wateringly grandstand finish here at Bramall Lane. And Leith Fairney is going to be introduced as well. Started the semi-final at the Den. He's going to come on for O'Shea Ellis.
Fairney, a natural centre-back, so this will be interesting. Whether it's going to be a case of, right, for the final few minutes, you just push yourself up front, be a nuisance, get another physical presence, whether you're going more direct now.
Immediately looking to get involved from the corner kick. It's snuffed out at the front post. Fairney, of course, not a stranger to the score sheet this season. 5 goals in the league. Josh Williams with a bit of a problem with Tinsdale breathing down his neck. He manages to escape that tight corner and find Enzi Mazwi, and then Tinsdale with a wild lunge.
Just so well there, Josh Williams, because he's the last man back, and Sheffield United have got 2 players up against him, one putting him under real pressure, uses his body well, offloads it to Mazwi, and he's another one that just kind of wins the foul, just relieves the pressure.
Here's the trialist, Enzi Mazwi. Mara. Fairney. And it looks like Leith Fairney is slotted to centre-back, so it's Rico Brown who can step up into that centre midfield role.
Yeah, that looks to be the case, doesn't it? Fairney just taking the left side of the centre-back area. You can understand that. You know, Steve Spooner just looking to throw more bodies forward and chosen Rico Brown to step into the next line.
And the trialist robbed of possession by Marsh. Fairney's first defensive involvement is to rob him of possession, and then Kamara smartly wins a throw-in off of Waldron. Blues with a 2-goal deficit to overturn if they want to take this to extra time at Bramall Lane. 5 minutes to go. Lindsay Maswi this time under pressure. Williams. Brown. Maswi. Home. Square for Fairney. Blues continue to be patient in their build-up. Just probing, looking for that puncture point. They might come here with Kamara, who prods across the edge of the penalty area. Picked up by Sheffield United and scrambled away. Anywhere will do for the Blades at the moment. And it's really smartly done by Marsh around the corner. And Aston will give chase. And Aston looking to catch the goalkeeper off his line. But Ollie Sayer pretty well positioned to deal with that.
Yeah, that's the thing now, is that because we're looking to throw more bodies forward, you are kind of risking any potential counter-attacks and leaving yourself quite vulnerable on the back line. You know, we've been going 2v2 at times, which is totally understandable because you need to get yourself back into the game, but you do leave yourself quite vulnerable there.
Williams swings in the cross. Sheffield United with the defending and sliced clear by Marsh. 4 minutes to go here at Bramall Lane. And it's the Polish youth international, Miss Pitan, who's down with a bit of cramp. This is a theme we saw in the under-18s semi-final that went to extra time. You know, players were out on their feet, understandably so, giving absolutely everything to put their place in the final. But Pitan is the first victim of cramp this afternoon. You know, it's such demand on these young bodies.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, the game is played at... No, it's played at high intensity, and it's tough on the body, but, you know, whether this is a case of also just slowing the game down and killing momentum, it may be. I don't know, it may be genuine cramp, I don't know, but it's not what we need, really. We need the ball to be back in play and, you know, kind of get a tempo to our play and our possession. And, you know, when you've got players just going down, slowing things down, it can kill that momentum that you're trying to build. On the plus side, they may have him off the pitch for a few seconds, whether that's 10 seconds or so. It depends how quick the referee decides to call him back on. But, you know, you try and make the most of that and your numerical advantage and your overload.
Beresford challenging, it comes out to Lindsay Maswi, and there's Dixon, and Maswi looked to have a swing at it, crowded out by red and white bodies in the end, and Sheffield United have a free kick on the edge of their penalty area with 2 minutes to go.
It is so hard. I mean, you know, Sheffield United there, you just saw how many players they had behind the ball, and they are leaving 2 up most of the time, but everybody else is behind it, and they're really narrow and compact and leaving very little space for you to play in. You know, you have to be really clever and quick with the ball to try and get through them and break them down. It's not easy at all.
Brown, a minute to go of the 90. Brown fires forward. Beresford looks to flick on, just got too much contact on that. United can sweep away. As you say, it's Blues who have asked all the questions from an offensive standpoint, especially towards the end of that first half, and had the lion's share of possession in this first period as Dixon pulls it back into the penalty area that Sheffield United can defend themselves. Brown picks up, but just that sucker punch in the second half from Aston means it's a real mountain to climb now for Blues as we approach stoppage time.
That's it, the timing of the Sheffield United second goal was damaging really, and seemed to knock the stuffing out of us a little bit.
And 8 minutes of added time. 8 minutes for Blues to find 2 goals. Imagine the noise in here if Junior Dixon could have found the back of the net with 10 minutes to go. Splendidly denied, of course, by Faxon. That goes down as a golden big chance for Blues in the game. One where you look back at a snapshot in reality and can really change the dynamic of proceedings. But Blues still in the hunt into the first minute of 8. Swung in. Dixon's there. Knots across the 6-yard box. Berriford was waiting. Screened and fielded by Sheffield United, and anywhere will do for Marsh now, with Blues rallying.
Yeah, it's a teasing ball in from Josh Williams, and he picks out Junior Dixon well. It's one of those where you think to yourself, is he going to look to power it back across goal? But he actually knocks it down unselfishly towards the direction of Ben Beresford. But again, Sheffield United deal with it really well to clear the danger.
Williams swings it in again. Dixon was interested, as was Beresford. And Kamara lets that bounce behind for a corner kick. A minute and a half of the 8 for stoppages have gone.
It's another dangerous ball in from Josh Williams. I have to say, last 2 balls he's put in have been perfection, really. It's just not being able to turn into anything of use. You know, it's a dangerous area he's putting it into.
Waldron scrambles it away. Williams forces Maswi to work overtime, but Maswi keeps the ball in play. The Welsh Youth International is the trialist, looking to work his magic. Rico Brown. Williams readying for another teasing ball into that corridor of uncertainty. Dixon's made the first contact. Beresford couldn't get that convincing contact that he desired to really test Faxon and get the ball on target.
He's at full stretch, Beresford, and it's good work by Menzi Maswi on the right-hand side of the box there. Just kind of, it's a stand-up cross, if you like, and yeah, Beresford's there, but he's at full stretch, just can't direct it on target. Blues knocking on the door in these final stages without really troubling Faxon.
Brown. 4.5 minutes of the 8 added on. Still to come. Brown seeking Beresford, who flicks on. Beresford again towards goal. Sheffield United throwing bodies all over the place to retain their clean sheet and halt a possible Blues comeback. Lewis Pitan it was, putting his body on the line in front of Beresford. The trialist spins in field. Who's looking to work another angle? Nath Fairney. Menzi Maswi. Trialist. Kamara. The trialist has made an outside run. Kamara chose to skip infield. And Aston turning the header home one end. 20 minutes later, carrying out his defensive duties deep into stoppage time.
I think when you look in the box, you know, the ball's in a wide area there, and, you know, you've got Beresford, Fogarty, Junior Dixon, some big lads there. You know, I think it's caused a few problems when we have just been quite direct with that, actually, and just put the ball in the box to that area. I think we've had more joy with that in the second half, really, than actually playing through Sheffield United. There hasn't been many times where we've combined and got beyond them that way. I think the biggest threat even would be the direct approach, which we've seen in the last 10 minutes.
Faxon, 3 minutes to go. As you say, the direct approach from Blues in stoppage time has proved effective, but hasn't produced a goal back into the game, but certainly has had Sheffield United on the ropes at times. But it's neat interplay down the left channel. Tinsdale swings it in, searching for Ashton, whose goal at the moment looks to be the clincher for Sheffield United. Naswi. Fogarty showed an interest, but out came Faxon to claim in his 18-yard box as the seconds continue to tick away from Blues and tick closer to Sheffield United getting their hands on that gilded trophy.
Yeah, that one there, just the delivery by Josh Williams, who for most of this half his delivery has been spot on, but there he just floats the cross in, and just because it's in the air for so long, it allows Faxon to come and claim it. You know, he did come some way away from his goal to come and claim that with two hands, but yeah, it was just a floated cross was the issue there.
Beresford, here's Dixon. Kamara, a minute to go of the 8. Kamara swings it in, Beresford was attacking it. United screen it away, only as far as Kamara. And once again stands it up into the penalty area, fielded again by the Blades. Kamara, corner kick. Josh Home called upon to take it. Home punched away by Faxon and steered further clear by Sheffield United. And there is the full-time whistle. Well, Blues Under-21s can keep their heads held high. Steve Spooner's side falling short valiantly at the final hurdle after a sensationally impressive season. Each and every one of these players has made an outstanding account for themselves, pioneering the future generation of Birmingham City, and it's safe to say the future's in safe hands, Paints.
No, it is. I mean, you know, it's an achievement even getting to this point. You know, and as I said earlier, looking at the makeup of the squad that you see out there tonight, you know, there's a good handful. There's 4 under-18s that are featuring in this. You know, the players will be disappointed with the result. Of course they will. You know, they would have really fancied themselves to get their hands on the trophy, but it just wasn't to be tonight. You know, I think Sheffield United took their chances when they did create them, and I think if you look at the first half, we have created a number and haven't been ruthless enough to put the ball in the back of the net. Second half, a bit of a different game. I think we found it very difficult to unlock Sheffield United. I mean, no, it's always hard when they are in the lead, and they've got bodies behind the ball and defended as well as they did, but just wasn't our night tonight. You can see the frustration on the players' faces now, which is only natural. But when they reflect back on it, what a great season, really. They've got to the PDL final against a team actually that won their division. So it's they can hold their heads up high. They've worked really hard this season, and I think it's a taste of hopefully what good things are to come from some of these players. And we have to remain positive. The 18s have got their final tomorrow, so we look forward to that too.
Yeah, absolutely, as they prepare the presentation for Sheffield United. But obviously Blues in their aspirations to regain that Category 1 status, but such positive signs, as you say, under-18s scattered amongst really talented under-21s as well. The futures look so bright from the academy and the infrastructure of Birmingham City. Oh yeah, things are on the up in terms of, obviously we've got really supportive owners now, and they're really making a change for the better at our football club, which is great to see. And in terms of the youth coming through, we've got some real talent. Not only what you see tonight, under-18s. I could go through every single age group at the club. There really is some special players that are being worked with day in, day out with excellent staff. So no doubt that we'll be seeing some of the youngsters feature over the years to come. Yeah, that's a guarantee. Marcus Painter having a front row seat at all the good things that are going on behind the scenes in the Blues Youth and the Blues Academy. It was Owen Hampson who gave the Blaze the perfect start this evening, looping over Ollie Sayer. Blues tested the United goalkeeper and back line through Woodscoo and O'Shea Ellis, and Blues were really knocking on the door throughout the first half and towards the end of the first period. But then came that sucker punch in the second half. Sam Aston headed in the second period, and what proved to be the clincher for Sheffield United. Then the big moment of the second period for Blues. Wakefield barrelling forward on the counter-attack. He found Junior Dixon, and to get Blues back in it with 10 minutes to go, but up stepped Luke Faxon with a big save around the corner for Sheffield United. And that's when the kitchen sink started getting launched forward from Blues, but as Paint said, they just couldn't find that telling touch to puncture this resilient Sheffield United back line. And it's the PDL Northern champions who consolidate their 4th consecutive title with the national crown. The Blades continue to carve their name into the youth scene. Blues, though, fall valiantly at the final hurdle. It's finished in the PDL national final here at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United under-21s 2, Birmingham City under-21s 0. Sheffield United will lift the PDL national trophy. Well done.
Assistant referees Wayne Gray and David Constable. And for the official Elliot Bell. Please put your hands together for the runners-up, Birmingham.